Crazy how you can love someone with your whole heart one day, and hate her from the pits of your soul the day after that. Story 1. I 24M just came from a bad breakup. She 23F had been my girlfriend for 3.5 years and I was planning to propose by next year. She started to have doubts on our relationship, but instead of talking to me about it, she talked about it to a guy 15 years older than her, had a wife and a daughter she was working with. Guy took that as a sign and took advantage. They had been doing it for 2 months before she was forced by a friend to tell me. What really added to it was that she had planned to keep it all a secret and live the lie until she could be back home. We both work on ships, and just tell me after that she didn't have feelings anymore, instead of either working it out or ending it before something else happened. Best believe that I told the guy's wife within an hour of her call to confess to me. I've also made sure every one of our friends, colleagues, and peers knew what she did, only because she had also planned to make it look like I made it all up and that I was toxic. People knew me better than that, though. It spread like wildfire because a lot of people really looked up to us like we're the perfect couple. She had become a pariah within the day, almost a month now since it happened. I'm still reeling from it since I really thought that it would have been me and her till the end. Thanks to a lot of support from family and friends, including ones that were initially her friends but have now cut her off and prefers hanging out with me now, I am recovering at a pace better than I thought I would. The dude's wife is now just waiting to collect the right amount of evidence, and will take everything from him when the time is right. Even the guy's own family say they won't condone what he did, saying that if his wife decides to separate, they'll disown the guy and take in his wife and daughter as their own. Am I hurt? Yes. It pretty much destroyed my self-esteem that I had been working to fix since I was a kid. I also know that I'm probably going to develop trust issues from this. No one saw this coming, especially myself, because she had been so scared that I would cheat on her, even though I gave her all my accounts so she can check whenever just to fix her own trust issues. Do I regret pretty much ruining their lives, though? No. In the first place, they're the ones who did that with their choices. I just up and made sure they got what was coming to them. Will I take her back if she ever tries to try and fix this? I'll be cordial. I've already begun fixing myself, and that includes trying to forgive her, not because what she did was justifiable, but because I deserve the peace of mind. Going back to the question, never in a million years will I take her back. I don't need the stress of thinking of what if she's cheating on me again? For the rest of my life? She's done it once, what's stopping her from doing it again? Now the funny bit begins, because she and him are now working on separate ships. It's time for them to ponder upon the question, who'll get cheated on first? Edit. Oh, I forgot to say she had only known the guy for 3 weeks when they started their thing. It did hurt me in the beginning when I realized it, but that hurt slowly turned into relief. It was good that it happened now, rather than later on. It could have been this married guy or some other guy down the line, but the fact remains that she was willing to entertain someone else. I realized that I dodged a major bullet with her. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1. Sorry you have gone through this horrible experience, buddy. You did what I wish I had done at your age. You can move forward with clarity. You will regain trust in people with time. Trust in your decision and always trust within yourself. Be proud of yourself for the way you handled this horrible situation. Redditor 2. Be strong, bro. From what I can see, you're already over her. Don't ever trust someone who lies on their partner. There's a strong possibility that she will do it to her future partners again. Story 2. I got revenge on my ex-girlfriend for cheating on me. This happened years ago when I was around 18 and dating a girl I had gone to high school with. We had been together for about a year, and towards the last month of our relationship things started to die out. We wouldn't talk as much and she never had time for me. She claimed she was always working at her family's grocery store. Her family had their own business for years. It was a small grocery store that at one point while I was in between jobs I even worked at for a short time. Her family were lovely and me and her father got along great and still chat every now and then because I was always working or studying. didn't party, and had set goals for myself early in life, which her father thought was awesome. So, anyway, back to our relationship. Because we both worked, we only had the weekends free, so usually we would do our best to spend time with each other, but she had grown distant, and I hadn't thought anything of it. But one weekend I receive a call from a friend of mine who tells me she had seen my girlfriend out with another guy. I didn't want to believe it, I was devastated. But I thought before I throw any accusations I would get my own proof first. It took me almost 3 weeks to convince her to spend time with me. When she agreed and came over for a night after work, I had planned on confronting her to find out for myself. She arrived shortly after dark and told me she was going to have a shower. She went into the bathroom but had left her phone with her bag and keys on the table. So I did what anyone who has been told they were being cheated on would do. I went through to see for myself. And what do you know, she was cheating on me with her ex-boyfriend, who was a dirtbag. You see, he was one of the kids at school that messed around, never came to school. Was out smoking and drinking instead. I never really interacted with him outside of being asked for a lighter for a cigarette. But he was also selling drugs at school. I've always thought people who sell drugs to kids are dirtbags. Not cool at all, bro. I found out she had been going to see him on the weekends to do drugs and drink as well as sleeping with him. There were messages talking about how I was too nice or focused on work too much. How she's only with me because her family loves me and I can handle that if you tell me that, not cheat on me because of it. I would rather leave a relationship freely. This hit me really hard and messed with my perception of women afterwards. I had never been cheated on before and didn't know how to handle the feeling, but I wasn't going to let her do me like that. Here comes the sweet revenge. You see, in those messages they had been talking about needing money for alcohol or drugs and not having enough. This conversation led to him convincing her to steal it from her family business. She had been getting away with almost $800 or so every weekend, as well as stealing items from their shop. So I thought fast, screenshot all the messages, and sent them to her father from her phone. I told him it was me, and that this is what I had found in his daughter's phone. Shortly after she had finished up in the shower, I told her we were finished and I knew everything. I told her to leave and I had a surprise for her when she got home, to which she was confused about. She left after that and I received a call from her dad, who has apologized to me for his daughter's actions and sounded almost as devastated as I was. He told me he had already called the police and they were waiting for her to get back home, as well as collecting her ex-boyfriend as an accomplice. I was shocked but thankful that I had cut dead weight from my life in a just fashion, considering she cheated on me. She got to spend the night in a cell with her ex and was ordered to pay back the amount by a judge and given community service. He, on the other hand, happened to have previous warrants out, and I don't know what happened to him after. I wiped my hands clean of her and moved forward. But man, that felt so much better that she at least got some punishment as a result. Smiley face.